Let's enjoy the game more together by being more realistic and aligning with some strategies that will give us some better success. I think it's really interesting to look at PGA Tour stats on yardages between 75 and 125 yards. That's what we're focused on today. The yardage range between 75 and 125 yards. I'm about 100 yards right here from the green. What's interesting in that yardage range, all these stats are taken from last year's full season from PGAtour.com, is in that yardage range, 75 to 100 yards, the Tour pros were hitting 79% of the green. So just the length of a football field. Feels like a stone's throw when you're on the golf course. They're still missing 2 out of every 10. The 100 to 125 yard range, they're hitting 74%. So they're still missing a couple out of every 10. So it's interesting that the best players in the world, even in what we would consider a pretty close range, 75 to 125 yards, they're still missing a couple out of every 10 shots. So you and I are probably not going to do any better. But we can align with some strategies that may give us some better success. And another interesting thing is sometimes watching weekend golf can be very mesmerizing. But I think one thing that happens with that is it does sometimes create a misconception. Yes, those guys are unbelievably good, but they're the best players in the world playing their best at that time. You're not seeing those on Thursday and Friday that are missing the cut and the wayward shots and things like that. The tour pros from 75 to 125 yards, they're also not hitting it to kick-in range every single time. The average proximity in that yardage range is 18 to 20 feet. That is about 3 flag sticks. So that helps level set kind of the expectations for the mere mortals like us and what we can expect with that. Now, I think there are a few keys that can give us some better success in this yardage range. I think in the 75 to 125 yard range, the first thing is don't overswing. I know when I was a junior, oftentimes I just take out my most lofted wedge and you just take just a giant crack at it. You have your sand wedge and you just take just an uncontrollable swing. There's no distance control, nothing like that. So the first key is don't overswing. It's all about precision and control in that yardage range between 75 and 125. It doesn't matter if you're hitting a sand wedge or a 7-iron, whatever it takes to get it as close as possible and whatever is going to work best for you, that's what you need to do. It's not about power, it's about precision and control. So the first key, don't overswing. Second key, I would say, play a lower trajectory shot. Typically, a lower trajectory shot in this yardage range is going to have a little bit more control. So if I'm about 100 yards and I would normally hit like a gap wedge or something like that, I'm actually going to club up a little bit and take a pitching wedge. Now, you don't want to swing lazy, but you want to swing smooth. You don't want to swing lazy, but we want to swing smooth. And this is just a little more club. One thing, if you're taking more club, narrow your stance just a little bit. Grip down on the club a little bit. That'll give you a little more control. It'll knock some distance off. But don't be afraid to take more club. And just grip down in a nice smooth swing. Not a lazy swing, but a nice smooth swing. And it's typically going to come off at a lower trajectory, and it's going to be a lot more controlled. I think the third key, and this is depending on your skill level, if you're trying to break 100 or 90, even in this yardage range, forget about the flag. Just find the fattest part of the green and hit to that. Don't worry about the flag. If you're breaking 80, your skill level is a little higher and you have a little more control with your wedges, it's fine to start honing in and getting more precise with your wedges. But if you're trying to break 100, trying to break 90, forget about the flag, even in this yardage range. Just find the fattest part of the green and hit to that, and that will benefit your game. And again, it's just expectations. In this yardage range, 75 to 125 yards, the tour pros, the best players in the world, they're missing the green 2 out of every 10 times. You wouldn't think that, but those stats are right from PGAtour.com. And also, they're not hitting it to 2-3 feet every single time. Average proximity is 18 to 20 feet. That's 3 flag sticks. I think that helps us be able to go out and play, enjoy the game more, have more realistic expectations, and get some strategies that will give us some better success. Don't overswing, play a lower trajectory shot, and don't worry about the flag stick. Shoot for the fat of the green. Give it a try. If these things resonate with you, I'd really appreciate it to hear your comments, to hit like, to hit subscribe. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if this rings true with you. Thanks so much.